Hello, I'm Daisy. I'm a designer and I've been working on 99 Designs by Vista since 2019. In this video, I'm going to show you how to enter a contest and upload your first design submission. So let's walk through the steps together. Okay, so this is the homepage that you'll see once you're accepted as a designer on 99 Designs. To access the different contests that are available for you to compete in, you navigate to your work on the left and down to the Browse Contents menu. Once you're here, there are so many different contests that you can choose from. At the moment, there's 664 different contests that are open for you to submit a design to. So it can be helpful to narrow down the contests that are out there to things that align with your interests, your skills and experience, or just the contest you'd be excited to participate in. You can narrow down initially by the category of the project, things such as logo and identity or clothing and merchandise, or if you have experience in illustration, you might be interested to check out the art and illustration. Or book and magazine design, I always love to check out because there's often a fun sort of children's book or something that you could have a go at. For now, I'm just going to narrow it down to logo and identity. And then within that category, you can refine it further by the type of deliverables that the project is asking for, such as just a logo or a business card, stationery, or a full brand guidelines. You also can sort by the time frame of the project. So you can have a look at projects that have just been uploaded and that nobody else has submitted to yet, which gives you the opportunity to make your design really stand out and be the first design that the client sees. Or you can also change by the most or the least time left. So if you prefer to take a long time to develop a concept for a logo and really think about it over a few days, that might suit you. I often like to look at the least time left because I love to jump on and give myself a challenge and try and whip up a logo design in half an hour. So it really depends what you're looking for. You can refine your filters further by expanding the Show Filters tab. And you also have these 4 really handy different filter icons up on the right. Regarding blind, when the eye is closed, that icon means that you will not be able to see any of the other designs that other designers submit, which has great benefits because it encourages you to work really creatively, to really think about what you would like to submit based on a brief, rather than trying to create a work that aligns with what other designers are thinking of. So that's great if you just want to be really creative and throw your idea in there. I love the ones that are not blind as well because I think it is a really great learning experience to have a look at what other designers, how other designers responded to a brief, to see if you responded really differently, and then to return to that contest later on once they've selected a winner to reflect on the way that designer responded to the brief successfully and perhaps what you could have done to have a different response. A guaranteed contest, so that's really important if income is a major factor in your participation in 99 Designs, and you want to make sure that every contest you enter, you are guaranteed the chance at winning that money. If you're on here for, learning or experimentation or one of the so many other reasons you might be, it might not be that important to you if you're going to win the prize money or not. You also can choose by fast-tracked or not fast-tracked, which is exactly what it sounds like. So if you're looking for contests that have a really quick turnaround time and you just want to work on it over one weekend and then you're back to work next week, for example, you might love clicking on the fast-tracked contest to have a look at what's out there. Contests that are private means that due to a non-disclosure agreement that you have to click that you sign at the beginning of the contest, you can't share that project publicly, for example, on your website or your portfolio or your Instagram. One of your main things you're trying to achieve is to build your portfolio and build the work that you can advertise as having done. It's probably not in your interest to go for a private contest because you need to respect the conditions of that non-disclosure agreement by keeping that project private if you win. So for me, the sorts of contests that I love to enter are ones where I can learn something. So I'm going to select logo and identity. I'm open to all categories at the moment, but I would like to have a look at something within the community and nonprofit sector. This is a festival. This is the name you can see right at the beginning, which is the copy that we'll need to include in the logo if they're looking for a word mark. And this is the slogan that they want to incorporate in their logo. They want to have that copy somewhere within the word mark design. In the brief page, down the left-hand side, you just simply have different subheadings that you can jump to, but they're just the same as if you'd scrolled all the way through. The description is really important because this gives you the context of the design that we're going to be creating. This is a great little brief because it tells you a little bit about what the festival is, who the audience is, and a little bit about the details that they want to see in the design, such as the primary colours. The next section is visual style, which goes into a bit more detail around what they want the look and feel of this logo and word mark to be. This is a crucial section that I like to spend a lot of time looking at because it really gives you a taste of what the client wants the feeling of the logo to be and the first impression of the logo to be to their audience. So they're looking for blues, reds, and yellows. And then in the styles attributes section, you get a nice little overview of the feel and style of the logo. So they want a more classic style logo, so perhaps, elegance, fine craftsmanship, more traditional, serif logos, perhaps italics, things like that, with a more mature feeling. So rather than something really bubbly and bouncy and curvy, they want something a little bit more luxury and refined in the taste. And they also want it to be more masculine than feminine. So that means stronger lines, perhaps more corners, deeper colors, things like that. And then the other ones, playful or sophisticated, economical, luxurious, geometric, abstract, they're kind of in the middle, which means they're not feeling strongly either way, which is a good indication that they're open to different ideas within those areas of style. They've also attached a lot of different design inspiration, which can be great, but it can also be a challenge because there's so much to work with. It can feel overwhelming around what real types of designs they want to see. So a good way to look at it is to just draw out some common threads around the inspiration that they've attached. So most of these are a sort of pictorial style design. Further down, there is also a space for the client to attach references. And then down here, you have a little bit more technical information around what the deliverables need to be. So here they've said they need a logo and what kind of files they're going to need this logo in. So they're going to need an Illustrator file, an EPS, a PNG, a JPEG, and a PDF file. Some of the contest is information around whether or not you can use stock and what kinds of fonts might be available, and if the client is happy to use stock or additional purchased fonts. So say I love the sound of this and I'm going to submit a design. It's so easy to submit your first design. You just scroll back to the top of the brief and up on the right hand corner you will see this big button called Submit Design. So let's click on that. And here you have a little screen where on the left there's a space for you to either drag or upload the file that shows your design. So first of all, make sure you've created this to specs that are going to work. Minimum dimensions need to be 960 pixels, maximum 2040 pixels. So I usually create mine as 1200 by 1200 pixels and just export it to 72 ppi, and that always will fit in the screen really well. On the right hand side, you'll see a little preview of what the client is going to see. And then you have the description box. So this is your opportunity to really sell yourself and to show the context and the ideas behind your design to the client so that they might be more inclined to want to work with you and they might have a better idea of what you're trying to achieve with the design. For example, I would say something like, hello, I'm Daisy, I'm a graphic designer. I specialize in community and nonprofit logos and branding. I loved the sound of your festival. I think it sounds so fun. And I was very inspired by the idea of European floral artwork, for example. And that shows the client that a little bit about who you are and that you've read the brief and that you're interested in the project that they want to work on. And then I would go through a little bit of context and sort of share the vision of the design that you've created. For example, you could say, this design features a bright red badge that is eye-catching and modern. Because in the client brief they requested that design be modern and the references they provided were a badge style. At the end, I always like to let the client know that I'm willing and excited to collaborate more on the project to make sure we get the result that the client wants. So that could be saying something like, this design looks great in red, however, it would also work really well in green and blue, and I would be happy to make some revisions for you. Or you could say, I could also try this in a different font if you're interested in collaborating further. And that helps the client know that you are open to further collaboration and that you're willing to make revisions to make sure that you get the concept right and that it meets the brief. And then you simply go through, check that you meet the requirements of submitting a design, click that you understand and agree, and select Submit Design. Let's recap. Browse contests by categories, industries, and date for the best results. Check out the types of extras in each contest to assess your options, including the blind, guaranteed, fast-tracked, and private features. Read the brief for insight into the background, visual preferences, and inspiration of your client. Remember to introduce yourself to the client when submitting your design and explain your design choices clearly. And that's a wrap. You can now get busy exploring contests and begin competing, and I'll see you on 99 Designs.